6 liter, is it?
No. That's V8.
I know, yeah, but it's a
Oh,
6.0.
the
Nope.
1 minute till
1 minute till.
or so.
Dennis is calling.
Dennis is here.
Yes.
He's on.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
How many of those meetings do we pay for?
How did you make it back into
Look
your
at page
office?
for
Did you have to get
5
the battery
years.
ran?
Yeah, they were, they had it open
Okay,
by the
so-
time I got back.
That's
6.
Oh, no.
All right.
So fast.
Yeah, 6.
That's not good. All right, 6 o'clock. So we
Yes.
will go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and call our regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. And if you'll stand, we'll say the pledge. Mark, you want to lead us this evening?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all board members are present in person. Mr. Ashworth is joining us by phone this evening. And we will begin with recognitions this evening if we have any.
No recognitions and no presentations.
So we can move on then to our good news. We've got some CT accountability results.
Yeah, in the separate packet that you were provided this evening, the very first page of that has the state CT. We've talked about this before, but I never saw the numbers. It has the state CTE accountability results. And as I mentioned to you before at a previous meeting, Wayne County was tied at number 1 with Hardy County with 100 points overall. So I just wanted to share that this evening. That was good news.
Excellent. Anybody else? Any other good news?
Yeah, under good news, I spoke with our fire instructor this week, and there was a generous contribution, brand new 20 sets of bunker gear that was given to our fire services class. So
Nice.
it
Awesome.
keeps getting better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's not costing us anything,
Right,
the class
Good.
or the equipment.
right.
think
Class is growing.
Great.
so
Yes.
That's great. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on to our informational items. No school on January the 19th, 2026. That's Martin Luther King Day. We have some school consolidation and closure hearings beginning on Tuesday, January the 20th at 6 o'clock at Dunlow Elementary. Consolidation closure meeting on Wednesday, January 21st, beginning at 5 at Crum. Another consolidation closure meeting on Thursday, January 22nd, beginning at 6 at Genoa. Another on Friday, January 23rd, beginning at 5 at East Lynn, and then a second one at Wayne Elementary, beginning at 7 o'clock. Regular board meeting on Tuesday, January 27th, beginning at 6 here in the conference room. Everyone okay with all those dates and times?
Yes.
Busy week
Yes.
next week.
Yes, I did tell Todd previously on the one Wednesday at Crum, I may have to call in. I've got a court hearing in Charleston that afternoon.
Okay. All right, let's move on to our construction project updates.
So the active project that we have going on now is the major improvement project. It's CK Alumni Gym. That is in your separate packet items. That's page number 2. You will see a progress update there. And then I have a few pictures to go along with that.
For just one.
It's probably just one, but these are individual.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's right, I would say. We only get 5 anymore.
We'll get it.
Okay, if you can see that. Mark, I don't know if you can see. Let me squeeze that around a little bit. You guys move if you need to.
I'm good.
The upstairs of the gym is being sprinkled for fire protection safety. So this is some of the piping that's been installed.
They should finish that up in the next week and a half. Be done, all that be done.
This is looking from the parking lot out towards Route 60. This is where they connected the fire suppression system. So this was the change order that you approved.
Okay.
We originally thought we were going to be able to hook to the water line out in the alley. It did not have enough water pressure, so we had to go back to where the original fire suppression line for the new school was connected. So all this was taken out. This is where they had to dig up to run a new line over to the gym. This is looking from the baseball field back towards the gym, so it shows the same thing.
Yeah.
This is new HVAC ductwork being installed in the basement. Of course, the purpose of this project is the school is growing. It's a good problem to have, but they are at 100% capacity in the building. It's at 100% utilization. So we're trying to free up some space in case there's any additional growth.
And we could have
So-
classrooms over there, right?
Yeah. And so it would not be full-time classrooms. No student would be there for the entire day, but it would be
Right.
like a related arts type thing where they were in and out. So HVAC ductwork is being installed there. There's another shot.
Now, did that include the air conditioning for the gym itself?
No,
Just the downstairs, right?
just the downstairs. We did do an alternate to include the gym upstairs for the air conditioning portion, and it was $1 million for
Right.
that, close to $1 million just for that.
Upstairs, okay. I was thinking that was the case, but I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, this is showing some of the returns that they're installing. To run those in, they are closing up these doors. So this is some of the work that's going on there. And again, there's more of the sprinkler lines you can see here running across in the upstairs. So I think they're almost finished with the upstairs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this week it'll be done up there.
So it's moving along nicely.
Good.
That's all I had for construction project updates. I know that the restrooms concession for Fort Gay is scheduled to start scheduled to start Monday. The concrete work is done there. We're going to go to Crum next. Is that correct?
Yes. As soon as we can get the dirt.
Yeah.
As soon as it thaws out, it'll be done. And we'll pour concrete there and they'll come do the build for us.
So we have trusses. We had talked about when we were at Wayne, we're going to do a bus shelter for down there.
Right.
And so the trusses are going to be, we originally had those at Fort Gay and Crum, and we're going to use those for those buildings, but we went a different route there. So we're going to move those trusses up to Wayne High School. And then we'll see. Everybody's tied up with the projects that are going on now, but at some point here before the close of the year, even if it's early summer, they'll get that bus shelter up.
We met with the principals the other day and they decided where it needed to be between the two schools where they come out and they went on the buses. So it'll be somewhere, I might move it a little bit with the water in the ground.
Yeah.
But it'll be 60 foot long.
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's good.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Nice cover.
Good.
It'll be like a pavilion cover.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, let
Yeah.
me tell you.
That'll be nice. Excellent.
That's all I have.
Okay.
All right. I don't think we have any delegations this evening. So we can move on to our superintendent reports.
Okay, first thing up, and we're going to go to your separate attachments that I gave you this evening. The third item in your separate attachments, and Dennis, I know you're on the phone. I emailed this to everybody today, so you have access in your email to all these documents, and then I'll save you your hard copies as well. The third,
Yeah, I took a look at them.
okay, yeah, the third item is just an explanation as to the different steps. It's kind of a guide to the preliminary comps. But really what I want to concentrate on this evening, if you go to the fourth item, we'll get to the preliminary comps themselves. And the first page that you have here is a document that Jeb had created that shows a comparison of the preliminary computations for this year. I'm sorry, they're actually for next fiscal year, but they were just released here in December, compared to the final computations for this year. So it's the amount of money we received this year compared to what we're projected to receive next year. Now, again, it's important to note that these are preliminary. We do expect changes as it moves along, but it gives us an idea of what the numbers are going to be for budget purposes. So first up is step one, which is your net allowance for professionals. And we are slated to see a decrease of $805,597 for professional salaries. Step two is your allowance for your service personnel salaries. We're scheduled to see a decrease of $301,173 there. The allowance for the fixed charges, so these are benefits related items, we're expected to see a decrease of $113,000 there. Allowance for transportation, parts, fuel, etc., is expected to decrease by $80,717, but our bus replacement amount is actually going to increase by $10,896. Allowance for student support personnel, that is our counselor positions, social work positions, those that is expected to decrease by $63,000. Allowance for other current expenses, again, falling into that benefits category, is expected to increase by $142,000. Allowance for substitutes is going to decrease by $29,000. Faculty Senate funds are a slight dip of $2,800. Allowance for improved instruction is going to increase by about $50,000. And of course, these are earmarked. Our 21st century technology funds have to be spent on technology. That amount is increasing to 1.3 million, which is a 119,000 increase. Our advanced placement monies that we can use to offset cost of advanced placement courses for students is decreasing just by $148. Our teacher and leader induction is showing an increase of $432,000. Now, again, that money is earmarked for support for teachers in their first 3 years.
Why's that going up so
I
much?
don't know. It took a significant jump last year too. I'll be surprised if that holds, but that's what the early projection is. So when all is said and done, you look at number 8. When all is said and done, that's a loss of $640,906. But you have to remember that we've got a big number there with that teacher and leader induction, and that money's earmarked and can't be used for general purposes. So the reduction actually came out probably to about $1.2 million that we're looking at actual operating costs. And you remember we had projected it would be about 1.3 a few months ago when we saw the enrollment numbers. Now, item number 9, step number 9, that local share deduction, that is the projected tax collections in the county that the state will use that number to subtract from our total funding because we're collecting that locally. And our local shares is projected to be up $220,000. And so you see that item number 10, our total basic state aid is scheduled to be $39 million. That's after the subtraction of the local share deduction of $7.9 million. So again, we were originally slated to receive 47.2 million in the projections, but you subtract that 7.9, that takes you down to a total of 39.2 million is what we're projecting to receive. That's a decrease of $861,519. Going back to what I said before, if you look at that teacher and leader induction, that one item, if you take that out, it's a deduction of about 1.2 million. And that's what you see there in the next line when it shows the unrestricted state aid overall. All the items up above that are restricted, if you do not count those in, we're losing about $1.2 million, which is very close to the projection. Actually, a little less than we projections, a little bit less than what we projected. So that's a good thing. Okay, going to the next page. I'm going to skip through some of these pages because we just summarized all this. That first sheet was a summary sheet, but this actually breaks it down, and you see statewide what the numbers are. So page 1 is step 1. Page 2 is step 2. And so forth. We're going to go to page 8. This is enrollment information. So again, when you look at these pages, if you go to the far right, you'll see what the final number is when everything is factored in. So we're going to be funded for 5,693 students, 0.82. 5,693.82. You go to page 9. It starts showing you the professional educator data. So for professional positions, we are over, again, looking at the far right, we're scheduled to be over 62.68 positions next year.
Well,
Now, again, that's just a projection.
right,
That's if we don't take any action,
sure.
then we would be over 62.68 if we stand pat with where we stand now. And as you know, for the last several years, this number keeps popping back up into the 60s after there's been significant cuts made to bring that number down. When the enrollment drops again, then the number goes back up. Page 10. You'll see 78 positions over formula. This is for service personnel. Page 11 gives you your ratios of number of employees per 1,000 that are employed. If you go to page 10,
I think it's 11.
I'm sorry, 12. Page 12. That gives the calculations using those formulas, so it shows that they will fund 412 professional positions. Page 13 is for professional support personnel. And it shows you for professional support personnel that we're over approximately 3.79 positions. Page 14 is a summary of both. So they put the professional student support personnel with the professional educators. The next to last column to the right shows again that we're over 62.51 on the professional side.
Yeah.
And it shows that they're going to fund 441 positions in total, including student support personnel. Your next page over, 15. Includes service personnel. Shows that 306.69 are going to be funded. Okay, then you have your next 2 pages, which starts over with pages 1 and 2. So this was a separate document. This gives you a breakdown of every district in the state. Shows you what the total allowance is, the local share that's being subtracted out, the percentage of that local share to total allowance, what the new state aid allowance is after the deduction, and the percentage of net state aid to total allowance. So what this is showing in that column on the far right is that 83.19% of our funding comes from the state, 16.81 comes from local funds. Page 2, and this will be the final page. It's the exact same information, except it's ranked from the counties most dependent upon state aid with the highest percentages of state aid to total allowance to the bottom. And you'll see there's 3 counties at the bottom of the page. That's Marshall County, Tyler County, and Wetzel County that received 0 state aid. And that's because of the local tax collections.
Wow.
And we received the 4th most.
We received the 4th most at 83.19%. Unfortunately, what that means is we're more affected by enrollment losses. You know, the higher that percentage is, the more those enrollment losses impact you, because a significant portion of the budget comes from that state aid.
Yeah.
Now, if we go back to page 1, in our budget planning, the number that we're really looking at is about right below the 10, right below the total basic state aid, that unrestricted state aid. That's the number that we're working off of for budget planning. And that shows the $1,291,477 decrease that we'll have to adjust for. But that was very close to the projection that we had provided before, so no surprises there. So that's a lot of information. Again, I've given you the instruction sheet that explains what each of those items are. Again, this very top page was created by Jeb. Everything after that is from the state. So as you look that over in the coming days, if you have any questions, just reach out to me.
Looks to me like, just as a generalization, most of those counties that are at the top in getting aid are what I'd call coal country.
Yeah. So as we get to our January 27th meeting and our February meeting, we'll continue to do budget work and looking at how to get those numbers in line.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless you have any questions. I want to move on to the departmental budgets.
Fine, let's go ahead.
Okay, next up in your packet is our departmental budget. So previously, at the previous board meeting, we had went over the food service and the technology budget. I know there were some questions that came up. Lisa, I believe you provided some email answers to folks.
Better budget.
Was there any more questions regarding those items?
I don't know. I don't have any. Do you all have any other questions?
No, I don't either.
No,
Just reach out to me anytime that you have questions.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll move on then to the, we're going to look at the maintenance budgets. Now, there's two separate items for maintenance. There's the operation of buildings. That's the next, what's next up in your packet.
Yeah.
And then also stapled with that is the maintenance of buildings. So we're going to start with the operation of buildings, the very top page. So these particular funds are there for the day-to-day operation of the district facilities. It's custodial cost. So the cost of all the custodians, it's service staffing within the building, employee benefits, utilities, water, sewer, rentals, insurance costs, those types of costs. They're largely non-discretionary and are influenced by staffing levels, the number of custodians assigned at each building, and they're very dependent upon utility rates, insurance premiums, that type of thing. So the budget for fiscal year 2026 for the operation of buildings is $7.6 million. Now, I've included some information on where we are as we stand, and these numbers are relevant as to the end of December. So our year-to-date expenses are at $4.1 million. There's an additional $2 million encumbered. So that's a total commitment of 6.2 that is already spoken for. And again, encumbrances can be spent during the second semester, so it's not spent. It's just been reserved for specific purposes, which leaves an available balance of about 1.3 million. So the percent committed is about 81.8%. So the key drivers of this budget, the big ticket items are listed next. That's energy utilities. We have a $1.8 million budget for utilities over the course of the year. $964,000 has been spent year to date. There's $833 available in that budget. So if we go over that, then we'll have to pull from that available balance.
Yep.
Insurance. Slightly over $1 million is the budget. There's been $566,000 spent so far for insurance. Service salaries, those custodial salaries are a big ticket item. $1.9 million in custodial salaries are in the budget. There's been approximately $799,000 spent year to date. We have $1.2 million that is encumbered. Benefits. So that includes Social Security, retirement, workers' comp. Those are currently in the current budget. We're going to have to move some of that money out of that available balance to help cover those. Water and sewage, there's a $325,000 budget there. There's been $254,000 spent year to date. There's only $70,000 available, so we'll have to move some of the money there to cover that. The utility cost is up. Supplies, general. This is custodial supplies. $295,000 has been spent year to date. We have an additional $25,000 encumbered, so we'll have to pull from that available balance to raise that budget for custodial supplies as well. Overall, the operation of buildings remains within its fiscal year 26 total appropriation with $1.3 million available at mid-year, but again, some of that is going to be spoken for. So summary, this is a keep the lights on budget. Again, as of December 31st, 81.8% was committed. On the back of that page, utilities and insurance timing, seasonality remain the largest factors determining where the budget for this particular line item lands. And then I've included some pages for you.
Mhm.
These are actual printouts from Weavis. So the first page is the operations of the building year to date. So every one of the years listed, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, all those is as of December 31st.
Okay.
Including 2026 there. So it's an apples to apples comparison.
Yeah.
Your next page over says operations of buildings end of year. Those are June 30th amounts for the years 2021 through 2025. That's how much is spent for the entire year over the course of those years. But the 2026 amount, obviously, we're not at the end there. So that, again, that's the December 31st total. So it just kind of gives you an idea of what you're on track to spending. Now, as before, we present this information to you, and I know it's a lot to go through. So at the next meeting, we'll make room on the agenda for any questions that you might have. One of the things I noticed on the back of that second page is those general supplies. Those are custodial supplies.
Just prices.
That's something we're going to be taking a close look at.
Yeah, that was my question. What kind of an inventory system do we have on those types of things?
They run an inventory system out of the warehouse.
Okay.
So they have a computer program that where the custodians, they punch in what they need, and that shows up on the inventory out at the warehouse, so we can track deliveries, that type of thing. So if we think expenditures are getting out of hand at any one building, we can kind of compare it to similar sized buildings.
Make sure we're not over.
Yeah.
Supplying one place over another.
Yeah.
And I'm sure just general cost is up compared to what it has been in the past. So-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next page, the second account in the maintenance fund, and Mr. Stanley is here, and this is the one that he operates out of more than the other. This is the maintenance budget. So your maintenance men are in these accounts, their salaries, and then HVAC parts, all of the big ticket items that are needed for maintenance of the buildings or for construction projects that are not coming out of state funds or federal funds. So the budget for the year is $3 million. Year-to-date expenses are at $1.6 million. There's $934,000 encumbered that's spoken for that has not been spent yet, but has already been committed. And so that leaves an available balance of $339,000.
Wow.
So at this point, the percent committed is at 88.4. Your key drivers out of this budget are service salaries, repair and maintenance services, contracted vendor repairs. This is your HVAC, DeBraw, Mason and Berry, different companies that we deal with, Roto-Rooter. Supplies is also a significant item for our own crews that are ordering supplies. You'll see that there was a $595,000 budget for work order materials, and there's $300,000 remaining in that budget as of right now. So that's on good track. You have your benefits, your personnel cost is significant. That's also in there. And then specialized outside services, architects, that type of thing. The capacity in the budget is concentrated primarily in the supplies general. That particular line item has done really well the last 2 years, and I think it's because of all the new equipment that's been put in that we invested the COVID funds in with the HVAC and all that. So that's really brought down some of the repair costs. Now, I do want to say this: unfunded liability was recorded earlier this year than in prior years. So when you're going through these WEVA sheets and you see that unfunded liability, when you look at that report that has every year by December, you'll see that they're all zero except for this year.
Okay.
We've went ahead and recorded it now. And when we look at the treasurer's report later, I'll show you the impact in total on the entire district with that. But we've got some significant expense that we've recorded already that wasn't recorded at this time last year. You see the multi-year trend. So 2.87 million was spent in fiscal year 21, 3.31 million in fiscal year 22, 3.69 million in fiscal year 23, 2.73 million in fiscal year 24, 2.66 million in fiscal year 25. So that's a good trend that it's coming down. Now, let me mention about that 2021 number. That was the COVID year, and the expenses were down overall quite a bit that year. So to be even under that for fiscal year 25 is a good thing. On your next page, we have the same couple of page reports. This first one, I've got a notation up at the top that says December. What that indicates is that all of these costs for all of these years as are of December 31st. The second page is the entire year except for 2026, and that's just up to date as of December 31st. So that'll give you an idea over the last 5 years of what total expenditures have been in each line item. Any questions about those?
I have a couple, actually.
Okay.
What type of inventory system do we have with maintenance supplies? Just say receptacles or whatever.
We just have them on trucks. We don't have they've been working for the last 6 or 7 months on putting those together, but we don't have really enough to inventory. We use what our sales tickets and what we buy. Now, what's on the trucks is what will be in our bills. You know what I'm saying? It'd be what we paid for, or what we will pay for.
Right. So on your work order or whatever you're
Yeah.
working on, you'll have listed what was purchased
Yeah,
with the
we have those-
receipts.
We have those.
So
on
we
the
have
list.
copies of
Yeah.
those with.
That's all we we don't have a whole lot of inventory as far as what we got. We usually go get when it's needed, because we don't have a building or we don't have a storage place for those things.
But we document it when you put it on your
100%.
on
yes,
your work order.
Your truck.
Yeah, for that particular building
Yeah.
or whatever job that you're working on.
But you,
And that was kind of leading to my next question. And I know this is not apples to apples, but what building is the most expensive? Where do you get the most maintenance calls?
The most calls.
Yeah,
or the
the
most expensive.
Cost.
The most maintenance calls. What building in our county has the most maintenance calls?
Sometimes that depends on who's called. You know what I mean? Sometimes they call one another, but I would say,
Where does our maintenance guys have to spend the most time? At what building?
well, Spring Valley is the most costly building we have, because it's just that much square footage.
It's big.
Mhm.
And I guess it would also depend on what the problem is. I mean,
Yeah.
different maintenance.
Yeah, we have, groups of electricians, HVAC. I'm sure you know who they even are. those, we value those and we rate those and we send people on urgency. Most of the time we have a plan, but sometimes that plan doesn't go the way it should because we got a break, or something's breaking, we have a gas leak, or we have something else. But I would say Spring Valley is the most expensive building we have. I know it is cost wise, utility wise. It's only obvious that it's that big.
Biggest.
HVAC wise, I think we'll probably have the most problems with Fort Gay, wouldn't you say?
100%.
Spring Valley there.
Testify to that.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
you know, we've had some issues at Spring Valley, but Spring Valley system has been,
So
you know, it's a new system that we put in. I can't
I'd like
remember
to
what
add
year.
something to that if I could.
Sure.
When I first got here, they had a boiler system in Spring Valley. I wanted to kill everybody we hired. Nobody could fix it. When we got money enough to upgrade Spring Valley to these exact units that we have at Fort Gate, are these exact same units, there was a can in the pipe.
Yeah.
So a contractor or somebody
Remember that? Yeah.
somebody upset at somebody, put a Pepsi can,
Yep.
they even had a pull tab on.
Yep.
I got a picture of it. And they put it in the pipe and it went and it caused problems in the whole building and it never did work right. One year that all the ceiling tile fell, nobody could figure it out. Well, we changed the system to this system. The one at Fort Gay is terrible. It's terrible. The one at Spring Valley, I don't know if we've ever got a call from those Daikin units. We have a situation at Crum, they're Mitsubishi. We've struggled getting people to work on those. They're just a different unit than these. And but Spring Valley, since we upgraded to this system, we've got calls never. We believe there's a piping system. The problem is when we build the new schools like Fort Gate, Mason and Berry or us, we don't put it in. So the people who piped the system at Fort Gate was a plumbing company because those have piping. So these units here have one compressor. At Fort Gate, there's 8 rooms on one compressor. That's how it works. It's not a bad thing if it works correctly. We have a piping issue at Fort Gate is what I think, but believe me, I have no idea. But we try to get it. We go through so many compressors down there that it's unbelievable. Now the compressors are paid for. They're all in warranty. They've never made it past warranty.
That's one good thing.
They've never made it, but we still got to pay to put it in.
And
So
we're still
they-
down when they go down.
So it's down. For me, I don't like our system at White Wayne Elementary. It's a boiler system. When the boiler's down, the whole show's down. At Fort Gay, when one of us pressure down, we got 8 rooms down. So you can't move them around. You can't move them around. I like individual RTUs, but that's not where the smart money is. Because when they do that, I mean, you could never pay for that. To have an individual unit for every room unless we put the ones in we just did, the individual ones inside. So Fort Gay piping is trouble. I don't know who to blame. I wasn't here then. But we believe that it's a pipe. Some people don't think it is. They think it's another too many on one, but we're working real hard. It's been better this year than it has been in a long time.
And I know you can't answer this question, but I'm going to ask you because you deal with this every day.
Sure.
Why, when we put new windows in our homes, we expect them to last 25 years at least, right?
Yeah.
Why, when we put new buildings in schools, they don't last? The CK building is an example. That didn't last
No.
how long? Not even 10 years?
I don't know what
No.
we're talking about.
The caulking and stuff
All
that
this
was,
stuff.
The seal.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
The seals.
That wasn't a window. That wasn't the window. That was
it was
probably
the caulking to the windows.
yeah, it was probably an installation mess up or something. But the window itself, there's nothing wrong with the window itself.
Just the seal.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the windows. It's how they're put in the masonry.
why would that not last longer than that? Do you have any idea? And I know it's not your fault. I'm not saying that. I'm just
sure
asking.
I have no idea. We had, I mean, this is probably not the place, but we had issues with the masons at that job. The masons at Crum they were built at the same time, were really good. Other parts of Crum was not. The floor guys there at Crum I wasn't happy with, but the mason, but it's a neighbor golf. It's two different companies.
Subcontractor
Yeah.
issue.
But it's a sub, and it's, I can't remember the name, but they had two of those contractors on that particular job. And it was just an installation problem. I mean, it's not the windows. It's what's around the windows.
I got you. I just have higher expectations, and I'm sure you do too. We think this stuff should last longer.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one, I probably shouldn't,
Absolutely.
and I probably shouldn't tell you, and I'm gonna talk about myself for just a second.
I know what you're
So
gonna
should
say.
I tell them?
Are you making it up, Matt?
No, man.
Okay. Well, you were studying. I didn't.
There is I don't wanna tell it.
Oh, yeah, get us.
I think
get
you're
us
too
curious.
far down the road now.
There's a room there that has a window in it and they covered it over. And I've walked by it a million times.
By covered it over, he means they
They
drywalled
drywall
over inside the room.
They drywall right over it. I go in that
Over a
room,
window?
it looks fine. You can't tell from the inside, and from the outside, it's on the second floor. I never noticed it.
Wow.
I just didn't catch it on.
Do
the
we not have somebody in charge of?
punch out.
Me,
Project manager.
me.
I thought we had like a project manager.
No, we did, I don't know.
We did.
I don't, it's since been fixed, but I walked by it a million times. I don't know if it was just
Missed on the punch
there and
list.
you just miss it because you're not thinking about them missing a window.
Yeah.
But it was there for 5, 6 years. Ever how? And
That's
and
probably.
they asked
we
me
were-
about it. I said, "You're crazy. It's not like that." So I go upstairs. The wall looks just like that. I go upstairs and there's a window outside.
It's fixed.
That's good,
Oh, it's
Why?
fixed, but I didn't have a clue.
right?
No one told me, and we had architects. We
Oh,
had
yeah, you had a punch list.
we
You
had
had,
a punch this.
They
we had
did a
architects.
closeout.
Yeah,
There was
go out
there was
and go all
architects.
If you walk in that
Department of
room, you
Works.
couldn't tell there was a window there.
Yeah.
And,
Just
but
don't-
you walk outside, it's 40 feet in the air,
right.
so you couldn't see through it. But that's a fact. That happened.
Okay, then.
That window didn't leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
One
Them
minute.
all I can.
bet. Yeah. Solve our leak problem.
That's a true story.
Right.
Todd, why do you have
It
That's
looks
fun.
good to me
the
outside.
workers' comp, that's $70,000 circled or whatever? Did you do that
For
or?
2026.
Yeah,
That's why
it
it's
would
up.
be me.
It's up from last year.
Yeah,
A lot.
it looks to me like some of the categories just changed or something because you go,
Added-
Real low and
you're
then
real low or vice
or Not
versa.
at all.
Yeah, so anything that's circled is something that I'm following up on
Okay,
Okay.
to see why the number is where it is. So it would be a number that's of concern to me.
well, that's what I wondered. So is this people that are on workers' comp?
No,
this time, or
it's
is this
the
just-
workers' comp? We
Or
have
what they pay out,
Yeah.
what you
The
pay out?
yeah,
premiums.
what we have to pay out for employees.
Okay, all right, I just wondered.
Right above it, you've got an unfunded liability that was 5 years zeros and then went to 231.
So that's what I was talking about
That's it.
before.
Okay.
Usually Jeb would record that later in the year. He's
Okay.
went ahead and recorded it now. So when we look
Okay.
at the treasurer's report, you'll see
That's
the
more accurate.
yeah,
Okay.
you'll see the impact.
Okay.
Okay, next page. We'll move on to Mr. Priest, transportation budget.
Oh,
And Mr. Priest also has two different budgets that he operates out of. First one is the vehicle operation. This is running the buses.
okay.
So you got all your bus operator wages are in here. So personnel cost is going to be a big ticket item here.
Oh, sure.
Vehicle insurance, operating supplies and utilities for the bus garage, major capital related commitments for bus replacement. So the budget for this year is at 6.8 million. Pleased to see that year-to-date expenses are at about 2.8 million. There's 3.6 million encumbered. So that leaves about 298,000 that is unencumbered. But there's still a high percent that's committed with those encumbrances. So we're at 95.6 there. Key budget drivers, as I mentioned before, those salaries and insurance, retirement contributions, that unfunded liability that Randy pointed out. Bus replacement, as you know, is always a big ticket item. It's in the high six figures.
Yeah.
Again, your service salaries for substitutes. There's quite a bit that's spent on substitute drivers, workers' compensation, vehicle insurance.
Yeah.
Over $100,000 for vehicle insurance. And then it gives you a summary of those items on the back page. And then we've got the same type of report. You have the first page is the year-to-date expenses. So all of this is as of December 31st for every single column. Second page is the final expenditures on the year. Except for 26, which is just as of December. So what's interesting to see about this is, like, if you look at the second line item there, service salaries cost us $2.2 million in 2021. And look where that number was in 2025.
Yeah.
And there's less drivers in 2025 than there was in 2021. But the expenses have increased by about $800,000. Now, we did have some, Bill, we had some reductions in positions this year, didn't we? Didn't you consolidate some runs?
Yes, we thought some branches.
So when you see that December number for that service salary regular, you'll see that it's on pace to be lower than what it was last year.
Still, I mean,
A lot.
it's not lack of consolidating runs or reducing, our employees. It's cost again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost to employ the people. It's hard to chase.
Any specific questions for Bill on those items? Okay, the next page over is the maintenance of the buses. So this is the actual operation of the bus garage, including the mechanics, wages and benefits, any vendor, technical service and repairs. Bill, who all do we use as vendors? We use Matheny's and
We have a lot of vendors, mainly Matheny, mainly Worldwide. Every once in a while, we'll have to branch off and try to find a part that they can't get, or it's on national back order or something like that. But they're our main two vendors for parts. And then we have some local vendors here that we will get some things from. CB&H down there, which is now going to be, it's changing. Jason's changing the name of that. Mathis, I think, is going to change it to Mathis Parts or something. So anyway, but those two are our big people we have to buy from, and Bluebird.
so the largest expense here is vehicle supplies, which includes fuel and fluids and parts. Anything related to keeping the buses moving.
And I'm going to ask you the same question, Bill. You keep a inventory, like a daily inventory on bus number, whatever, took 15 quarts of oil or whatever.
Yes.
And how often do you reconcile that?
So how we keep track of that per bus is we do that through the PM. The buses are PM, but preventive maintenance. They're brought in within 40 days. Every 40 days, we don't get them in before 40 days, but every bus is PM every 40 days. And that's recorded on the PM sheets. We can see what had to be done to that bus. If we change the oil, we can see what filters or whatever we put on it, anything that we put on that bus. And then it goes into a work order system, into what's called FleetSoft. So we electronically enter it as well. So sometimes we can quick reference a bus real quick if we need to know something, if it needed something or something we've done to it in the past. We can pull that in a quick reference. And then FleetSoft is also our parts inventory system. And we're actually in the process of revamping our inventory. We're condensing, we're always trying to condense it because there's no need for us to keep.
That's us as well.
parts. A lot of
That's
parts
us
on
as
hand.
well. We don't want to keep a lot of stuff because it gets gone, and we want to make that number as small as we can.
Yeah, we try to streamline as much as we can, and that way it's easier to maintain. And typically, if we need something, our vendors can get it to us pretty quick. So if a bus is down for a day or so, we can usually get that part and get that bus back on the road. So, but that's our part system. Again, like I said, we're in the middle of revamping that, updating it, trying to make it more accurate. So that's where we're at with that. But we those parts are entered as they come in. We have a sticker system and a scan system. So when the part comes in, Richie is the main guy that's over the parts. He's our foreman, and Richie will, we have like I said, we have a sticker system. So it's a two-sided sticker. Well, that's a double sticker actually. So he peels it off, sticks it on the part, box or bag or whatever, and then and he scans it in the system. Well, when the guys go get that part, or Richie goes and gives them that part, they peel that sticker off. There's another, that same sticker numbers on there. They peel that sticker off, stick it on the work order, and when they finish that bus and turn that work order into Richie, he scans it out.
Perfect world, I would love to have the same situation. Perfect world, that's great to do that.
That's how we try to maintain it the best we can.
So every part has a code or a number so that once you use it, it's documented that it's gone to bus XYZ, and then that's stored on the document that's turned back in. So,
And we file the paper copy, and it also goes in electronically.
How many buses do you have
We have
running? I mean, daily.
87 on the road every day.
So like if you had that system going and bus number 12 was just having all kinds of issues, and your mechanics, I know they keep up with it, I'm not saying that, but it would alert you that the alternator went out on that 7 times last year, right?
The system, I'm sure there's something in that system. We would catch it.
I'm sure you would, but I'm just saying,
I don't know
that's
if the system
hypothetical.
would
That's
tell us.
hypothetical that a recurring issue on a bus, and I'm not asking a mechanic to remember every bus number because I know it's impossible
Right.
pretty much, but they would be some kind of a system.
They can
Something.
look and see what's been done to that bus.
Yeah, we can pull
See
that
if it's
bus number
recurring
up.
frequently.
Yeah, we can pull that bus number up and look to see what.
You're asking if it alarms, if it'll see.
There'd be some kind of a red flag go up,
It
but
does
this,
red flag.
It's under warranty. It could be under warranty.
yeah.
It does red flag buses that are getting ready to go out of the 40 days. So it will red flag a bus that way, like, hey, this bus needs to be PM, it's almost out of the 40 days. It does do that. Now, as far as like red flag and a consistent problem, it's probably left to us to recognize that. I know that the guys either know the bus driver or the bus.
Right, right.
So they're pretty good about
Right.
that, and where they deal with everything.
Right.
Yeah,
It's an imperfect system, but we make it work. I think pretty good.
makes sense. And we're reimbursed for fuel, but not 100%, correct? What,
I believe
do you
that
know?
reimbursement's 80%.
80,
Okay.
yeah,
So
80 something like
that's what I
that.
thought.
Pretty much the majority of our budget
Yeah.
is 80% reimbursed.
Okay.
And the other 20 comes out of local funds?
So if you look at the overall budget, it's about 2.3 million. Year to date, as of December 31st, 865,000 has been spent. Again, this includes fuel, parts, everything. There's 940,000 encumbered, so it leaves about $500,000 available balance. with only 76.9% committed at this time. So hopefully that continues at that pace. Key budget drivers, again, as we discussed, you have your vehicle supplies, that's your fuel, fluids, parts. It's a $1.4 million budget there. There's been $483,000 spent year to date. See your salary item there.
Mhm.
General supplies, group insurance, retirement contributions, those purchase services, contracted services are also in, there was a $75,000 budget there. 24,000 has been spent year to date. Repair and maintenance, $55,000 budget. 5,000 has been spent year to date. So Bill, we made a significant investment in the transportation garage down there and putting new lifts in it, and
Yeah.
so they could do more work. It seems like those numbers are pretty low as far as what you're sending out. Are they? What's your thoughts on how that's working?
It's definitely allowed us to do more work and more types of work and do it more efficiently. When you're using bumper jacks and you're trying to get under a bus, and you're working off the floor underneath the bus on your back. But we can't put everything on lift because we only have two. But whenever they can put a bus on a lift and they're working standing up, it just significantly speeds the process up.
Right.
And so
1,000 times safer. as well.
Safer.
and safer, yeah. So everything that we have done over there and you all have approved to upgrade that garage has paid off, I feel. Definitely.
I think the drivers like the bus wash too.
Oh, yeah.
They get to use that and not have to do it by hand.
That's
Wear
helpful.
it out. And we got that undersprayer too, so eventually we're gonna see down the road, that undercarriage sprayer is gonna save us from rust, and, corrosion and rust in the
Right.
future.
Prolong those buses a little bit.
Yeah, because right now we are losing buses, older buses that we have to rely on that we really shouldn't, but we have to. We got 08 buses. We just put an 06 bus out of service because of rust. I'm not saying that undercarriage sprayer would have saved that 06 bus this long,
Right.
but it will prolong the life of these buses because when the bus start rusting underneath and we start losing what they call cross members, it's really expensive to have those things replaced, and sometimes we can't do them.
It just jumps.
Yeah, especially, you just jump. And so, and a lot of time it's a welding situation as well. And you have to have qualified dealer people do that kind of work.
Right.
The inspectors won't approve it. So we're very limited on that kind of work we can actually do in-house because they won't approve it.
I got another question. You may not know the answer, and it's okay if you don't, but it just popped into my mind. Do you know how many students we have riding buses? Because I know at every elementary school, there are cars parked for miles waiting for the.
Yeah.
How many students? Do you have any idea how many we have?
Last year, we were,
It's a good
last
question.
year, our ridership was, I'm guessing roughly between 3,000 and 4,000.
I was thinking it was half of our
It's
students.
it's a little over half.
Yeah.
This year, I'm actually getting ready to submit our ridership numbers by this month. We submit them in January to the State Department. I'm getting ready, and I've not looked at the exact numbers, but I'm going to say it's probably close to the same. We're probably,
Mr. Ross, this
it's
has
over
been,
50.
we are in development of our new school at Buffalo, and that has been the hardest design problem of the whole building.
The building's not a problem. It's the
drop off.
Drop off.
I see it
It's the biggest problem that we have at that facility.
a little school of Pritchard. They're backed up all the way past my
Oh,
street.
Yeah,
I get it.
right.
Can't get up
And I promise
reach
we're
for
out
it.
there. We are out there.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Mom would put me on the bus.
There was no
This
question.
mom did.
No.
And then your next two pages are the same reports, the year-to-date expenditures up to December 31st. And then the very last page is the annual expenditures from 21 through 25, and then, of course,
Yeah.
the up-to-date for 2026.
When we talk about group insurance, are we talking fleet insurance or are we talking like people?
I think we're talking people.
People?
Yeah.
Does our bus insurance come out of this as well? Are we?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of
Yeah.
those. And are we dictated on who we have to use for that like we are? Our liability,
Bring 'em.
BRIM.
Bring 'em.
So it
It's all the
doesn't
same.
work to try to
No.
find a
Better
a
deal.
plan that's cheaper or anything like that. So
It's
we're,
Brim.
okay, and that answers that question. No choice, no
Yeah.
choice. I'm just making sure.
Okay, that's a lot of information.
Yes, it
And I know you'll go through it more. So if you have any more questions, we'll make time at the next meeting to address anything else that you have.
Thank you, Todd.
Jeez.
And we're not doing the technology tonight, or are we doing it?
If you
We
have,
haven't done it yet.
Did you have any questions
Questions.
about it?
No,
I did provide you
not yet.
I did provide you a list of employees from
Yes.
technology, maintenance, and transportation.
Yeah.
The maintenance and transportation are on the longer forms, and the technology is the short list.
Okay. Look at
that's what those. All right.
Okay, if you guys want to sneak out, feel free.
Yeah,
Thank
feel
you.
free.
Appreciate it.
You're leaving?
You don't want to stay? Can I?
You're leaving?
Go let the dog out. Thank you, guys.
Whatever.
The next thing in your packet is this is a report. I saw a few months ago where's the workforce development numbers, some of the statistics in Wayne County were improving. And a part of that is the programs that are available to kids, the internship program and some of the other programs that have been put in place, aviation maintenance and the existing CTE programs that are operating really have an effect on workforce development in the county. And so these numbers are impacted not only by the school system, they're impacted by the county commission, economic development that's occurring, the EDA, and just general economic development that's occurring through local businesses within the district. But I thought you would find this interesting, and I think I've got it where I can pull it up here. So we pulled some reports down from the state, or I'm sorry, from the federal government regarding the labor participation numbers. And so the headline findings that you'll see at the top of your page is that workforce participation is rising. So when you see that acronym, the LFPR, that is the labor force participation rate. So when it says 16 plus, that accounts everybody that is 16 years of age and older, and are they participating in the workforce? So it increased to 49.1% in 2023. 2023 is the last numbers available.
Okay.
These reports lag. It's still below West Virginia. West Virginia was at 53.6% for its labor force participation rate for 16 plus, but we narrowed the gap there. And it has improved over time. So that is a positive sign. What's really positive is the prime working age participation. That is, they do a separate statistic for the age group of 25 to 64. and it reached 65.5% in 2023. West Virginia is at 69.4%, but I believe we closed the gap by about 6 percentage points with that number. Unemployment improved materially. Wayne's unemployment rate was 5.4% in 2023, moving us into a stronger statewide position on joblessness. I believe the employment rate was actually better than the state's rate.
Mhm.
And then college going rate is above the state average. And when we say college going, this is post-secondary going. So it's not just traditional 4-year degrees. It can be workforce programs through Mount West, through
Apprenticeships.
Marshall's Advanced Manufacturing Center, those type of opportunities. So the graduation rate for 2024 is 52.1%. The state was at 47%. Wayne ranked 10 out of the 55 counties with that graduation rate. So at the bottom of the page is just a snapshot that kind of repeats those numbers and shows you Wayne County's numbers with West Virginia. If you go to page 2, it gives you rankings over time. So you'll see that the statistics were probably at their worst around 2019, but there's been some significant improvements since then. So the labor force participation rate for Wayne County in 2023 was at, we were ranked 31 in the state, which is the highest ranking going back to 2017. If you look at the labor force participation rate for that prime group, that 25 to 64, was ranked 29th in the state. Again, the highest ranking going back to 2017. The EPOP is employment compared to population. It's a very similar number to that 25 to 64 rank. That 29th rank is the highest it's been since 2017. You see the unemployment rank was significant in 17, 18, 19. It's really hit a downward trend over the last 4 years. So it's not the lowest mark that's been seen, but it stands at 17%. And then for the college going rank, they have statistics from 2024 there, so you'll see it over time. Now, if you remember during the pandemic, the post-secondary rates dropped like a rock in the state,
Yeah.
and we were part of that as well. But our number is climbing back up, and that was good enough for being ranked 10th in the state with those numbers. Now, going to the next slide. This report compares Wayne County to some of the peer counties, including there's a line for the state of West Virginia, and then there's lines for multiple counties. And you know the problem I'm going to have with this graph.
Colors.
I can't.
We're blue.
Help him, Randy.
I know where we are.
Okay.
I don't know who anybody else is, but I know where we are.
You know where the blue is.
So if this first one, you see the trend line for
Mhm.
our labor force participation rate. So again, we're narrowing that gap with the state, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
The second one is the with the 25 to 64-year-olds is that prime group. Again, you see that number climbing.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Good time.
You see the next graph is the college going lines, and you'll see that we're as of 2024, we're second on that list.
Going back up.
So all those are all those numbers are positive signs.
It's good.
Very good.
So I just wanted to share that. And again, that's not only a school system measure. Now, in part it is. So, we have programs that we've started, the Jumpstart program, Marshall's Herd Academy. We've got the aviation maintenance program, and all those are going to have more of an impact on these numbers as we go.
Right.
But there's a number of folks that deserve credit for this. I'm gonna share it with the EDA and with the Wayne County Commission so they can just kind of look at the numbers. So it is a positive sign. So things are on the upswing, and hopefully they continue that way.
I think our internship programs are huge,
Yep.
especially for that demographic of 16 plus. It just gives these kids a snapshot, an idea of what's out there and the soft skills it takes to go to work. So I think that's going to help.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right. Well, thank you. No board directives or board reports.
Yep.
So we can move on to, no, we also have no unfinished business, so we can move to our new business now. Superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. Additional items received prior to the time of the meeting may be added. Discussion and or separate action of the items may be requested by members of the board and or the superintendent. Items are subject to change. Any blanks will be filled in prior to the meeting. And in the event a nominee withdraws, we reserve the right to put the next candidate in that position. Number 1 is consider for approval the recommended personnel matters on pages 1 and 2.
Motion.
Motion by Jonita, second.
Second.
Randy.
There is a termination that's listed on that agenda.
I'd like to move to pull that for separate consideration, please.
So we'll pull the termination for separate consideration. So is there any other questions or concerns on the remaining personnel matters?
And I know Ms. Tyree is here in case you have any questions. We've already had the hearing for the termination matter. If you
Right.
have any questions, legal questions for her, she's here to answer those.
We'll take care of the other personnel matters and then we can address that one. So no other questions or concerns on the remaining personnel matters?
Is Dennis still with us?
Dennis, do you have any questions, concerns? Dennis?
Wake him up, Todd.
He was muting himself, so. Dennis, can you hear us? If we cannot hear you, you're muted. Okay, just making sure.
Just want to make sure you didn't.
Did not off, Dennis.
All right. So we'll go ahead and vote on the remaining personnel matters
Yeah,
then.
personnel matters remain.
No questions? No concerns? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, and for the separate consideration, do we need a executive session for this? Or does anyone have any questions, concerns that we need to discuss with Ms. Tyree? No one? Okay. All right. So the matter of the superintendent recommendation.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I think Ms. Terry was going to check on something for us. So do I just,
Do we want
Make
to
a motion to go into executive session.
yes, please.
a motion for executive session to discuss some specific personnel matters
Yes.
for this termination?
Okay.
Made by Jonita. Have a second,
Second.
Randy? All in favor?
Aye.
Dennis, are you on with us? Aye. Any opposed?
And it's 7:18 PM.
5-0, 7-18.
If you don't mind, just mute your mics. Okay, I got our mics live if you want to.
Because we've got to,
Make sure Dennis can hear me. Dennis, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
motion to return.
Motion by Jonita, second.
Second.
Randy. And it is, all in favor? Aye.
What's the time?
7:33. Dennis?
Aye.
7:33.
No,
We're returning from executive. All right.
All right, so the remaining personnel matter is the termination, and the termination is for Tammy Williamson, who is a secretary at Genoa Elementary School.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Jonita,
Second.
second by Randy. Any other questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Dennis, you going to vote?
is this on the motion to dismiss?
Yes.
Mine's a no.
So, Motion carries 3-2.
3-2, motion carries. Okay. Can we take a brief recess?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Aunt Leslie.
All right. Where's our voucher payments so I can get those
In here.
ready?
Didn't think it was gonna be this long, did you? Okay, there
There
you
you
go.
go, ma'am.
Bye,
Be
honey.
careful.
Okay.
All right. Get my packet back in order here. Okay, moving on to number 2, consider for approval the voucher payments for December 2025 on pages 3 through 11.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Jonita, second.
Second.
Randy. Any questions or concerns on those voucher payments? I don't think I have.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did it. Of course, I voiced my concerns on the Amazon and PayPal. We're looking at $26,000. I know it's been explained to me.
I've done the same
I
thing.
just don't feel comfortable with those numbers. The next one I have a question on, Mr. Alexander, be on page 5. About 1/4 of the way down the page. Larry R. Castle Jr., $8,400. Could you tell me what that was for?
Yeah, that was for the gym floor refinishing.
Okay.
And that was multiple schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it
I
was.
think it was like 1,600
That's on
per
page
school,
3.
Right.
Okay.
like 5 or 6
Right,
Yeah.
schools.
page 5 at the
Page-
top.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
On page number 4,
Mhm.
we're over halfway down the page. Severin Intermediate Holdings, $38,635.56. What is that?
Let me find it. You said page 4?
Mhm.
Page 4.
169,700.
700.
I'm sorry.
Page 4 at the
I
bottom.
got you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, I'm going by bottom
Page
page.
4.
I do not know. I'll have to pull that
Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
That seems like a pretty good chunk of change.
Yes, it is.
On the next page, page 7, empirical resolution, Inc.
Oh,
5,400. Yeah,
Yeah.
right top of the page.
Empirical resolution. I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
7, I'll go page top.
Yes. It's all right.
Page at the top, page 7.
169728.
I'll pull that as well.
Okay.
I feel like that was a CTE thing. I remember seeing that name, but I'm not 100% sure.
I can't
don't remember seeing it. I just. Okay, on page 9.
Okay.
This is going to the top now. I've changed.
Okay,
it.
right here.
I got you.
Gotcha.
Quarter of the way down. H&E Lawn Care. Who is H&E Lawn Care? $4,925.
Okay.
No clue. Haven't heard of them. We probably approved something we haven't heard of. I don't know.
That's not tree trimming, is it?
No, that's not.
That's all the ones that I have.
No, that's, we use CNS,
CNS, okay.
tree service, or it is, it's got a funny name on it,
Yeah.
CNS
Something.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was-
landscaping or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's not it, no.
Yeah.
That's the ones that I had questions on for this
Okay.
evening.
I'll pull all 3 of those and send you the information on them.
Any other questions or concerns on those voucher payments? None heard? All in favor then? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 3, consider for approval the minutes of the Wayne County Board of Education, pages 12 through 15.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Johnita. Questions, concerns, changes on any of those?
Mm-mm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0 on the minutes. Number 4, consider for approval the purchase requisition order and quotes in excess of $5,000. It's pages 16 through 19. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Johnita, second. Randy. Questions or concerns on those requisitions?
So-
The first one's $200,000. Diesel fuel and oil.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's through Wright Express. That's our fuel provider. Page 17 is E-Rate Consulting Services. So we collect what averages to about $300,000 a year in E-Rate funding to pay for internet service, et cetera. And we have to turn in applications for that.
Yeah, I know.
And so this group, what they do is they make sure that we're taking advantage of every opportunity and collecting as much money as possible. Joe reports that they are top notch and the best around. So that's who we use for the E-Rate. And then the third item, page 18, that's the school funds online. That's our software fees for operating, for all the reports that we can pull, et cetera.
And this E-Rate Consulting Services for last year?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, with regard to the Wright Express, I mean, that's, again, since it's round numbers, not something we've already incurred. It's an estimated of what it, based on.
Yeah, this
Oh, I see what
this
you're
will
saying,
incur
Randy.
that
Yeah.
money.
Encumbered
Mhm.
for-
And so basically, we're encumbering it, but if, in the happy event, we spend $150,000 on it, we just don't give them the other 50.
Correct.
Right, exactly.
Explain to me, and I'm, well, what is that? Is that like fuel that's from at the bus garage? Do we have?
It's fuel card,
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
charge card for fuel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's just for the bus garage, or is that for?
Bus garage, and then if we have any
Everybody.
drivers that use fuel at other places, so for example, like the gas powered buses that we have, they use those cards. That's it.
I would guess, I mean, I know, obviously, of course, we're talking diesel rather than gasoline, but I know how the price of gas can fluctuate somewhat, but I assume the amount of fuel we use probably pretty consistent year to year, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the runs don't change, even when you lose student population,
Still driving the same.
you
No, you
still,
Make
you
the
know,
same
you
runs.
you have 5 on the route or 10 on the route, you're still running the route.
So I guess it goes back to my questions before. So there's a pretty close inventory kept on that kind of thing also. Is there any checks and balances on it?
Yeah, when you use those cards, you have to enter the mileage
Okay.
that you are at the time that you're fueling it up, so they can track the purchases as they go to make sure that they're matching up with the mileage.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have a diesel pump down at the garage, so
That's
we
what
try to use it as
Yeah.
much as possible. But sometimes,
They're out.
if the run's down in the Crum area, it doesn't make sense to run them up to Wayne just to fuel up.
All right. Any other questions or concerns on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dennis? Thank you.
You'll see a specific line item too on those reports that I gave you for the diesel fuel. You'll see how much is spent. You'll see what's been spent in the past years.
Any opposed on that? None heard. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to our new business, separate action items. Number 1, consider for approval the treasurer report on page 20. Motion, Mark. Randy, did you have the second?
Yes, he did.
I want to mention, I did provide you in your folder for tonight that we provided you tonight. I provided you a treasurer's report, but this one compares it to December of 24.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we were having that conversation about that unfunded liability. So for the entire district, the unfunded liability is at about $7.5 million that has to be recorded in the books. And again, this year, that number has been recorded early.
Okay.
So when you look at your year-to-date revenue and you see, and I'm talking about Fund 11, the very first line.
Yeah.
That's the one that we have the most control over, and that's the one that we have to keep an eye on. That revenue includes that $7.5 million that's been recorded, that unfunded liability. It impacts the revenue column as well. So when you see the difference in that there's been an increase of $7.3 million in revenue in the general fund, it's actually a small deficit in the revenue. So the revenue has dropped off from last year slightly because at the time in December 24, that unfunded liability had not been recorded. So the revenue is stable. Now, if you go to the right and you look at the 2 columns for expenditures, you're going to see that it's showing that expenditures increased by 6.6 million, but that includes 7.5 million of that unfunded liability that was not recorded in December 24 of last year. So expenses are actually down about 900,000.
Okay.
So when all is said and done, we're running about $700,000 ahead of where we were last year.
That's good.
And basically what you can do is you can take the 2 differences, and if you subtract those 2, that'll give you our revenues have increased by 7.3 million, and the expenditures have increased by 6.6 million. So that gives you the difference there.
Mhm.
So it just lets you know where we stand compared to last year.
Yeah.
So slightly ahead of where we were last year at this point.
Any other questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 2, consider for approval the budget supplement and transfers for December 2025 on pages 21 through 24.
Motion.
Motion by Randy,
Second.
second. Johnita. Questions or concerns?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 3, superintendent recommends the board approve a short-term lease agreement with Playmates in Westmoreland facility effective through June 30th, 2026. Motion by Randy, second, Johnita. Questions or concerns?
Just explain the terms of the lease, please.
That they are responsible for janitorial services, for maintenance in the building, and they'll be responsible for all utilities. And then we
got a copy of it, didn't we?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, there's a
It's
copy.
in
of it.
there.
This email?
It's in
No,
your
no.
No, it's in
separate
our-
attachment-
Packet.
Separate attachment that we got tonight.
Oh, in the, from the other day.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I read it.
I just wanted, I read that, but I
Okay,
just
okay.
wanted to explain it, so.
Yeah, it ends
Oh.
June 30th. So it's
Yeah.
they have to make the utility payments on the facility. If there's any major issues with the facility, since we own it, those are ours, but they'll take care of janitorial services and light maintenance in the meantime. And then the lease ends on June 30th. And then I also included in your packet for tonight a communication from them. And again, their expression of intent to want to purchase the facility.
And for what it's worth, with my usual caveat, I did not provide legal advice to the board. I did look at this, I'd like to see if they're supposed to keep the insurance and indemnify.
Right.
Yeah, they pick up the insurance, so we'll drop the insurance on the
Mhm.
facility as well at that point.
It'll help a little bit. Any other questions or concerns on that lease agreement?
I think the lease agreement pretty well spells it out
Yeah,
in really good terms, I think.
right. So it'll be one less thing on our books.
Yep.
All right, no one else? No questions, concerns? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Dennis? Thank you. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 4, superintendent recommends a transfer of property, that's 3609 Chase Street, the old cafeteria property, to the Wayne County Community Service Organization. Motion,
Motion.
Randy. Second,
Second.
Johnita. Questions or concerns on the transfer of that property?
Of course I do. I thought about this a lot, and I talked to superintendent about it. But if y'all remember, I think it was in September. When I took office in July, it was either August or September, I requested a list of all of our properties that we owned in the county from the clerk's office. And evidently this was somehow not found or anything until we were surveying for the release of the Westmoreland property to
The historical
Historical
the
society.
Society.
Historical Society. They found this, and it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that some time ago, whenever this building, the Westmoreland Elementary School, was given by the Wayne County Board of Education to the Wayne County Community Services Organization, they thought that this part of that property was also in that. Come to find out, we still owned it and have owned it for 12 or 15 years roughly.
Yeah.
Also found out that I have no problem with Wayne County Community Services using it, but I'll tell you what really bothered me was the fact that they have had this leased. They've been leasing our property to Coalfield Development. So I personally do not feel that I'm willing to give them this property. And I know they've been in it for some time, and I know they made some improvements and all that. I understand that. But my feeling is thank you for the improvements to our building. Now you need to buy it because we're facing some major shortfalls budget-wise. We're looking at a couple of school issues going on. And, we're looking at a piece of property there on Chase Street that does have value that belongs to the Wayne County Board of Education. So I feel like if the Wayne County Community Services were using it, that would be one thing. But the fact that they had leased it, and I don't know what the lease amount was that they were getting out of it,
We
but
didn't get it.
we didn't get it.
How
And,
long have they been leasing it though?
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with you, Mark. I mean,
and they're a government funded agency.
Yeah.
Wayne County Community Services is government
so
funded.
the community
And we-
services are not using this particular building themselves. They've leased
leasing
it out
it
to someone else.
to
And we know the
Cofield.
history of that organization. I know it's changed now. It's actually ran by Lincoln County.
Yeah.
I'm
I know
sure you're all
that.
aware of that.
It's not leased currently. The building's not leased currently. I think the lease with Coalfield Development expired in December at the end of the year. So it's current, they didn't renew it.
When did we let them have that?
Well before our time.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Long
Yeah.
time.
Long time ago.
Probably, I don't
Long
know.
time.
When that school closed.
Yeah.
I mean, shortly thereafter.
Well, why would they want it now?
So, well, they have operated as if it was their facility this entire time. So they put new HVAC in it. They've repaired the roof on it. They've put new flooring in it. You know, they've done a number of things to it. And the whole topic of this lease with Coalfield Development came up about leasing the property out to them. But when we were in the process of transferring the Historical Society over, is when I started having questions about,
Who owns?
Yeah.
you know, that property. And, you know, had it been deeded over like they were operating. And I can't find anything in our records. I've asked their executive director to go through their records there, because they believe that it was given to them at the time. But at the courthouse, I don't believe that happened. There's nothing recorded. If you look on the assessor's map now, it's still showing as it's ours.
Yeah, theoretically, you could do a deed and not record it, but that would be very foolish, and that's normally not. Do we have any idea how much it's worth?
No.
I don't know how much it's worth, but I know it's a building on Chase Street in Westmoreland. It's worth something.
Well,
When they fixed
If
it
they
up.
want it, then they need to buy it
Yeah.
from us, because they've been profiting. This is my opinion. They've been profiting off of leasing it to Coalfield Development.
and they have been profiting off that. It's not like a dollar lease or something like one of those
Well, it
things.
wasn't theirs to give anyway. I mean, that's the thing.
Interesting. Well,
If
now,
it's $5, they owe
yeah.
us $5.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't a dollar lease. And again, for transparency, I serve on their board as well.
Right.
I'm sure it wasn't a dollar lease or anything like that. But again, you know, the whole time I've been on that board, that building has been treated like
Right.
it was theirs. There was never any question about it. And it wasn't until we got into this. And again, I'm trying to find, you know,
And they don't have
that
any.
the original documentation,
Right.
you know, was that included? And the answers I keep getting back are they can't see where it was included.
Right.
Or can we pull it? Or can you find out anything else about it?
I think we ought to pull it at least a little bit. I
do too.
I don't know what, again, full caveat, I don't give legal advice for it anyway. I don't know what all the implications, I think, adverse possession, all that. I don't know.
Right. Well, I think personally, I thought Wayne County Community Service Organization was utilizing the building, so I didn't mind to give it to them at that point.
Yeah.
But if it's something where they've been using
Making
that
money
to
off
make-
of it.
Well, they did
Or
use
lease
it at
it.
one time. They were
Right.
serving senior meals out of it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Currently, they haven't. been.
yeah, how long that's been, I don't know.
I wouldn't care to pull it and just
Yeah,
gather a
see
little
what
bit
it-
more
yeah.
information
Yeah.
before we hand over
I
a
think so.
building. Especially if we're asking Playmates to lease
Yeah.
another section of the building and possibly buy it.
I mean, I just look at the fact that we're in a financial crunch, and we all know that. We've talked about it. And we're looking
Yes.
at things. And I think if we've got pop bottles to sell, we need to sell.
That's what it's come to.
And I was going to say, that's just common sense
Yeah.
to me, that
Well, I don't want to be responsible for another building if we don't have to be, but I
I
don't
don't
want to
either.
give it away for free
Exactly.
if we
We'll
can.
see if they
Someone
want
else
it
has
bad
been
enough to
profiting.
buy it.
And that's another reason why we need to figure this out. I mean, I'm always worried about liability.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I
So
make a motion to pull it.
until,
Well, I'll just pull it.
Okay, okay,
I'll pull the recommendation until
okay, Todd pull.
further review.
Yeah, when we did the,
Good.
to get the transfer of the other properties done, I've provided all that paperwork to Miss Tyree and she has all that. So
Okay.
Good.
I don't have
That- I
access
think
to
that's-
it right now. So let me get it back in my hands and then we can.
I think that's the best idea.
Can I make a request too, that I would like to see from the county clerk's office, how many properties we own, or that the Wayne County Board of Education owns. I want, that I can see how many we own. Everything that's deeded to the Wayne County Board of Education. Because I don't know this, but I've been told that, there's little plots throughout the county that used to be over one-room schools and stuff that are still in our name. That's why I was asking that back.
Yeah, we've tried to clean all those up and I believe that we had.
I do
And
too.
Did a lot there.
Yeah.
And I had a call from our surveyor, the gentleman that does surveying for us, and he said there's another plot,
Oh, gosh.
and it's
Where's he at?
Tark Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went on the assessor's map, and yeah, there's now it's listed funny. It's listed as school property, but it's not listed under the Wayne County Board of Education. But I spoke to the assessor's office last week.
Yeah.
Or not the assessor's office. I talked to the mapping office
Yeah.
over at the courthouse last week, and they do believe that it's ours. So yeah, there's somebody that's interested in that property. So
Yep.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And at any time that we put those properties back into the tax revenue for Wayne County, we get money out of that
Sure.
instead of
Yeah.
just having them out. But I think you're going to find that there could be very, very well could be more of those.
we tried to do an exhaustive list before, and I thought that we had gotten rid of everything that
Yeah.
we weren't using, but that one popped up.
It's a big
So I'll
county.
go back in the records and see
Yeah.
what we pulled before.
We can do that.
There's a thing
Doesn't
called
hurt.
West Virginia Property Viewer. I don't know if any of you are
Oh,
familiar
yeah.
with it or
I
not.
use it.
Just take a stroll.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a lot. Okay, so we'll pull that one.
Yes.
All right, we can move on to our potential items for a future
Yes.
agenda.
Yeah, so we have all those public hearings next week, and then
Yes.
we'll have the vote on the closures or consolidations on January the 27th. And then at that same meeting, we'll need to do a CEFP adjustment. Because the CEFP calls for a consolidation at a new school site. So we'll have to do an adjustment regardless of what we do. So I'll have it prepared and it will be on the agenda that night as well.
Okay.
We're working on, we had some bleachers at the Wayne High School baseball field that we're going to tear down and replace. And that's an insurance recommendation. We're working on gathering prices on those bleachers now. I'm waiting for the prices to come in. I think we'll probably purchase those through our AEP contract through Mountain State.
You
Okay.
anticipate that to be finished by baseball season.
I hope. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll have.
I hope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Spring Valley High School. We got some problems there. You'll have to forgive me. I'm getting old. I can't remember what we've talked about and what we haven't. There is water coming down off the hill that is behind the football bleachers that's washing out the cover underneath the bleachers and exposing the supports on the bleachers. So we're going to have to do some
Wow.
drainage work there. And when we do that drainage work, we'll take that excess dirt and put it back underneath the bleachers to make sure that a serious problem doesn't develop there. At the same time, you remember we had the big sinkhole on the
Mhm.
soccer field. There's something going on with the football field.
Oh, great.
Jeez.
Over on the visitor side, they have it is retaining water. The field was almost not playable for their last playoff game, and we're going to have to do some drainage work over there. At the same time, we discovered a significant water leak over at the baseball field, and it's under about 3 feet of concrete.
Oh, great.
Of course it is.
And so
Jeez.
we're probably going to run a new line over there, but I'm working on specs for all of those projects. So, we can get a bid out and get somebody in there to work on those projects. And, we'll make them separate project. I'm gonna bid them all out at once, but we'll make them where they can bid on them separately. So that's work that's coming that we're going to have to do. So I just wanted to give you a heads up to that.
Full of good news tonight, aren't you, Tolly?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Janita, second by Mark. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. It is 8:03. Yes, that is all. Thank you all.
You want to mute your mics?